Hip 90-90, lead leg, external rotation, pails and rails. To get squared up in your 90-90 position, both knees fall to the same direction. We want a 90-degree bend or a 90-degree angle between the two thighs at the groin and then at the front and back knee. From there, just simply try to sit as upright as you can. To get into the stretch of external rotation with your lead leg, simply think chest up and lean forward. As you do this, make sure that you're not rounding forward at your spine. Your trunk shouldn't be going down. Your trunk should be going forward. As you bring your chest forward, you should feel all this tissue on this posterior lateral aspect of your leading hip to pull tight as you move deeper into this range, because it just takes this hip, forces it into more external rotation. At this point, if you're doing a long duration hold before pails and rails, go ahead and pause the video, hold your stretch, and then pick up with me when you're done with your few-minute hold, because I'm going to go right into the pails and rails contractions. Pails and rails are contractions on both sides of the joint. The first contraction, pails, is contracting all the stuff that's being stretched out. For those pails contraction, think of this whole lower leg pressing down hard into the floor. You are going to be staying in your stretch as you do that. Now, as you're pushing this whole lower leg into the floor, I really want 75% of that force down coming from the lower third down. The other 25% is really coming from up here. The whole thing's pushing down, but you're really trying to focus the most of that pressure into the ground with this lower third. And that's what's really going to work the rotation component of this. So get into your position. Start off light on a scale of 1 to 10 at a 1. All of this is pushing down into the floor. Bring it up to a 2, then a 3, then a 4, a 5, 6, 7 on a scale of 10, 8, that's where I start to get pretty shaky, 9, and now you're pushing down as hard as you possibly can. Continue to hold, hold, hold. For a little extra challenge, you can even lift the hands off the ground if your range of motion will let you. Keep holding, pushing hard, 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 crushing the floor, and then gradually back your contraction back down to 0. Remember that we never turn contractions off, we turn them down. As soon as you're done with your pails contraction, you stay in your stretch. You go right into your rails contraction, which is the opposite. All of this is trying to lift away from the floor. It's not actually going to go anywhere because you're really far forward into a stretch, but try to accomplish that. Think, do what you have to try to draw specifically this lower third away from the floor. Start off light, gradually ramp it up. 1 on a scale of 10, then a 2, then a 3, a 4, a 5. As you do this, you might feel it pulling your chest forward a little bit more. A 6, a 7, 8, 9, 10. Hold, hold, trying to lift as hard as you can. All this stuff through here's contracting hard. Hold, hold, and gradually relax to 0. If you're doing more than one cycle through pails and rails, you will maintain your forward stretch between your cycles. You never back out of the stretch. If you ever feel like you actually can't produce a muscular contraction, like you can't put power into the floor with the muscles of your hip, nor can you put power in trying to lift your leg away from the floor, that's totally fine. You're at an end range. It's going to be challenging. My advice then is to simply back out of the range just enough to where you feel like you can actually produce force into the floor and force trying to lift away from the floor.